Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be about my language learning goals for March. I can't believe it's already March. It feels like the year started 2 weeks ago, but we're here somehow in the third month of the year and I'm ready to step up my language learning. So I'm definitely taking a bit of a different approach to language learning this year than I was last year. Last year I was just letting myself do whatever I felt like doing, which meant not much for most of the year, but this year I feel a lot more motivated to improve my languages and to study a lot more. So I'm pushing myself to get a lot more done because I really feel like it's possible and I have the energy and motivation to do so. So as a result, I've got a lot more goals for both French and Japanese, but I'm confident that I can get most of them done at least. So we're going to start off with French. My first goal is just going to be to journal every single day. Now this goal is one that is definitely possible, but I'm not sure if I'll be able to do it because I sometimes go on trips and I might not bring my journal with me or might not have the opportunity to journal, but I really think that I can journal every day because it really is a helpful exercise to use new words that I learn and new grammar points and to just get my thoughts down on paper. My next two goals are linked. I basically want to finish 5 chapters of the vocabulary and grammar textbooks that I'm using. Now, these textbooks are very useful. I've been using them for quite a while, and I think 5 chapters of each is definitely like the limit of how much I can get through in a month because it actually takes quite a while to get through each chapter, like in a good way, because they have quite a lot of exercises and there's quite a lot to do for each specific chapter. So I don't think I could do any more than 5, especially with all the other goals that I've got going on. And my next goal is to read a book. Now this is another book that I've read before because I mentioned in my 2025 goals videos that I wanted to reread a lot of the books that I've read before just to see what else I can pick up from them, and just because I quite liked a lot of the books that I read and I want to experience them again. So this book that I'm going to be reading, Numéro 2, is one of the ones that I really enjoyed. It's a fictional story, but it's about a boy who auditioned for the role of Harry Potter way back when the films were going to be coming out and ended up losing to Daniel Radcliffe. So he was basically the second in line for the role, but he ended up not getting it because Daniel Radcliffe did. And it basically shows and how he sort of blames it for everything that went wrong in his life after that, even though he definitely had a couple of other issues going on. So my next goal is to do 10 dictations. So this is going to be the same thing as February, where I'm not necessarily going to be doing all exercises, like dictation exercises. I'm also going to be trying to do song transcriptions and also just transcriptions of short clips from the content that I watch. My next goal is going to be making use of some more of the textbooks that I have. I have this textbook that I got a couple of years ago, but I haven't really gotten through properly. And it's called Débattre en FLE, and it's for the levels B1 to C2. The whole point of the book is basically to give you skills to help you debate or write proper arguments in French. So the textbook is not specifically for speaking or writing, but it basically helps with both of them because a lot of the exercises for the sort of B1 and up levels involve some form of debating or argumentative writing. So I just wanted to get through the very beginning of this textbook just because I think it's quite useful. I like the exercises and the way it's structured, but I haven't gotten very far through it. And my last goal for French is to use another textbook which is called Production écrite d'FB2, which is a short sort of guide to the writing section of the B2 exam. I got it quite a while ago and I've used it a bit, but I haven't really gotten through it completely, and it's not actually that long of a textbook. So I definitely think that I can finish the textbook within the month of March, and that would be a great first step for the exercises that I'm going to be doing more of in the next coming months. I also have the sort of sister version of this textbook that's for the speaking section, so that's definitely something I need to go through later on. Okay, for Japanese, for once, I actually have quite a lot of goals for Japanese. I definitely want to get a lot more done, and as I mentioned in my video about reviving my Japanese. I want to get my Japanese to a very high level, and I want to do that relatively quickly, so I'm definitely trying to ramp up the amount of studying that I'm doing. My first goal is to finish 20 N2 grammar videos. So in my reviving Japanese video, at the very end, you can see in the video that I'm taking notes from a YouTube video. Now, this YouTuber, I've talked about them before in my Japanese YouTuber video, and they're called Riki Nihongo Dayo, and I really, really love their N2 grammar videos. I watched through basically all of them when I was studying for the N2, and I find them really helpful. My next goal in Japanese is to journal 4 times. This is not really much of an improvement from last month, but the reason why I'm not pushing myself to write more is because I've just gotten so much worse at writing than I used to be. I've forgotten quite a lot of kanji because I have not written them for years. And even my grammar has gotten a lot worse. And I really don't see the point of writing if I'm going to be writing the most basic sentences that I have to repeat every single day because I don't really know anything more advanced. And I feel like I really just need to wait for my vocabulary and grammar to improve before I start trying to write a lot more. So my next goal is to read 15 news articles. So this is a small step up from last month, because although I found reading news articles last month very, very difficult, and I still think I will, it is only through the constant practice that I'm going to get better. So I want to really force myself to sit down and read through as many news articles as I can to really familiarise myself with advanced Japanese again. It helps if I'm able to find shorter articles because they sometimes have really, really long articles about a certain topic that like some journalist has done a deep dive into. And while those articles tend to be the most interesting, they're also very, very long and difficult. If I get to one of those ones, I will count it as reading 2 articles because of the sheer size of them and how difficult it is to get through them. My next goal is to use Anki daily. So I've started using Anki again more regularly. I've started making flashcards from the songs that I listen to and also the news articles that I read, and I've also started using some shared decks just from the internet. And I found that before, when I was studying for the N2, Anki was really, really helpful, and I really want to make use of it now. So I'm not doing too much every day, I'm just doing 10 new cards every day, and I'm going to be going through all of my reviews, and I want to make that a more permanent part of my routine for Japanese. My next goal is to transcribe 10 songs. So last month I did 7 songs, and I was able to do that quite easily, quite quickly. So I think I can do more than that. I would have pushed for even more than 10, but with all the other stuff that I'm also doing in Japanese and in French, I think that 10 is a good balance between doing quite a lot without doing too much. My last goal, it's a bit hard to track, but I basically want to do 10 practice questions daily. So I have an app on my phone that basically has a bunch of JLPT past paper questions, like a bunch of practice questions. And I was going through a bunch of them earlier to try and figure out how much I remember from my N2 studies. I actually did quite poorly. The thing with the exam questions is that they're intentionally written in a way to try and confuse you and make sure that you know exactly what the word is. Like they'll give you a kanji and tell you to pick its reading, but all of the readings will be very, very similar. And that's the sort of thing that trips me up. So I want to do more of those N2 practice questions as a way of measuring my progress back towards the N2 level. Those were all of my goals for March. I'd love to know what your goals for March are. Leave a comment down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.